former railroad yard, the big roundhouse, and all the people that worked here, you know that there had to be some type of tragedies that happened here. And with all the people, I mean, that's a lot of energy to be stored in this place. Oh.
Dowsing rods? The history is back in the day, they used to use, wow, it's really going crazy.
Yeah.
They used to use sticks with a fork to find water and energy, because water is energy. I think that's kind of basically how these were formed. Sorry, it just keeps going around and around.
We hear the same kind of thing where we hear doors open and closing, hear noises.
I heard that and I was like, wait a minute.
Something to that effect, and we go to check it out for ourselves, walk around. Doors are shut, still locked. Nobody else around. Nobody coming or leaving.
It's just kind of scary watching that stuff happen. It's happened a lot.
I've definitely felt energy out here every time I'm here. There's power in the rails, that's for sure.
A lot of lingering memories.
And all the trains that go through the toll gate, why, they gotta pay the man some money. But of course, if you got certain things on board, you're okay, you don't have to pay the man nothing. Down the rock out of line, there's a mighty good road. Rock out of line, there's a road to ride. Yeah, the rock out of line, there's a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, you got to ride it like you finally get the ticket at the station on the rock out of line. I may be right, I may be wrong. You know you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Oh, the rock out of line, there's a mighty good road. Rock out of line, there's a road to ride. Yeah, the rock out of line, there's a mighty good road. If you want to ride, you got to ride it like you finally get the ticket at the station on the rock out of line. Hallelujah, I'm safe from sin. The good Lord's coming for to see me again.
Tickets! Let me have your tickets!
Maddox Randall Hackey. Yeah. I just started my internship here not too long ago, about 2 months ago. And so this is my first big project I got to do for the railroad.
All aboard!
The way I see it is I think the energies are trying to tell a story, and there's so much that haven't been uncovered yet. It's very possible that with the team out here, we can really share more history. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard voices.
Trisha Rivers. I do a lot. Native representative for the Sioux City Inclusive Committee, but I also work at Great Plains Action Society. I do a lot of social justice fighting, really. This is my first time. Tonight's the first time that I've been out here, and I'm so honored to be here. We have critics that, don't really think that this is real or, that spirits, anything like that is real. And it's really nice to have the scientific proof to say, yes, this is actually real. And it validates what indigenous nations have been saying, that there is this other, realm, if you will, that it validates everything that we were taught, on a spiritual level.
So I'm hoping you find his energy. That's my dad, Lawrence Obermeyer Sr. Well, I miss him a lot. I think of everything how far we have come since we laid out the plans for the museum.
Yes, I have sometimes felt like my dad has left some stuff out here. No?
They do. They mix all the time. There's so many instances of history being able to be told from the paranormal. You can't have one without the other, really.
There's something there. I'm here with my sister too as well. I did feel something.
One day it's gonna happen when you least expect it to. A solid golden train is gonna come down after you.
I'm Dave LaFleur. I'm the founder of Para 911. We're in Sioux City.
Sioux City, Iowa.
Sioux City, Iowa.
Yep.
With all the people, I mean, that's a lot of energy to be stored in this place. So I've always wondered what it would be like to come in and check it out, investigate it, and see what it was about.
Some activity going on, so.
Tracy I met through working at the Hard Rock.
If we hear of activity going on, we want to be there.
Yeah.
That's our main thing. We want to get them hot spots, see if we can find some stuff. Just being here, you kind of get that feeling that there's a lot of history behind it, and that history can turn out to be paranormal sometimes. When we were here, we got some good EVPs in this section right here.
What was that? My wife, Kathy.
What I heard about the train museum is that they had workers that were still here working. The people that work here and volunteer here always have just the people that used to work here with them.
I do. This is a unique job. A lot of different perks to it, and it's tough to keep things going all the time, but it's well worth it in the end. I was just kind of walking over, and then as soon as I kind of entered the space, the area, just to kind of see what was going on, asking if it was okay. It kind of hit me like 2 or 3 times, spread apart, where kind of a wave, something came over me. I'm not really sure what it was, but I had goosebumps on my arm. Definitely felt the presence of something.
I go to West High School.
This is my son, Derek. So Derek LaFleur.
Just not using derogatory stuff, disrespecting. You don't want to force the ghosts to like do things that they don't want to.
My sister Rose.
A calming feeling, but yet you feel like different presences. Were you the engineer or just the conductor? What was that?
Personal experiences mainly. A lot of growing up, feeling kind of off, knowing something else was there, but couldn't explain why or what. And as I grew up, it just grew into a fascination of wanting to know more. So we used to work in the jail together. Worked in the jail together. I was a nurse. Well, I'm still a nurse, but she worked in the office. We worked in the medical clinic in the jail.
So I worked out in booking. So when the inmates got booked in, I would do their H&P and mental health.
Too long.
Her and I.
Too long.
A couple of years now. Yeah, it's a couple of years. Yeah.
Oh, I grabbed for the engine and I caught the caboose.
And I got 2 ex-jailers here, so I gotta be.
They're not jailers.
Because I grabbed for the engine and I caught the caboose.
And into paranormal.
Yeah.
I had experiences when I was growing up. The unknown. Does it truly exist?
There's more than one culture for sure.
All aboard!
To me, on a cultural level, spirits are everywhere.
Onions from Texas, meat from Sioux City.
There's death and there's also life, and they coexist with each other.
Well, we hope to accomplish picking something up in here. With all the history that we have around us right now, and you can see this locomotive standing behind you.
I wanted to come out and just investigate on my own and offer up a prayer, and yeah. This will always be indigenous land. Before it was, the railroad or anything else, that indigenous inhabitants stewarded the land and took care of the land, and we understood that there was a relationship between Mother Earth and ourselves, and that it wasn't pure ownership. And so being an indigenous woman today, that means that that's what I'm also supposed to be stewarding and projecting. It lets me know that we're still here and we're gonna continue to still be here. When I walked in, I got this old feeling, or, it just felt like it was busy, just busy.
The things that they hear and see.
What?
We're hoping that we can really pick something up, because just standing here right now, you can feel the vibe. It's going to be exciting.
Very strange.
Him and I talking together, and I was telling him about how you feel a presence out here of the former railroad workers. It's a positive feeling that you get, so it's like they're wanting to tell the story.
I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. I've been working on the railroad just past the time away. Don't you hear the
My name's Ray Vulcan. I run the model railroad building. I'm the old gauge guy, so I run a lot of old gauge. Space aliens. I've been many times in the model railroad building, which used to be the break room and lunchroom. There's many nights I've been sitting in the back room. I got a little office in the back where I fix trains and stuff. All of a sudden the doors are locked. I know the doors are locked. All of a sudden you hear doors are opening, slamming shut. Don't really hear voices, but you get up and check your doors and see it, and they're all locked. So I've seen that a lot. So I believe there's ghosts, but I believe there's spirits running around. I don't really talk too much about it, except people ask me about it. So.
Well, this building was built on top of where you said was their change out room, where they would
change out room or
get dressed and stuff.
Lunchroom.
Over 500 people that worked here at one time, so you have all those energies that come and go throughout the building.
Ray, what do you think of the paranormal team being here?
I don't know, it's different.
Are you open to them doing a small investigation in here?
I don't care. Well, I'll do my thing.
Get set it right by that board.
So let's go ahead and start. If there's anybody here my name's Dave. We got Tracy, Kathy, Rose, and Derek here. Is there anybody hanging out with Ray?
I heard what sounded like a REM pod going off up there. That's why I walked off to check. There's nothing up there. There's no equipment up there.
No, it's all back here.
It sounded like the REM pod.
There's something going off over there, but we don't have anything over there.
What was that?
Just good energy, like left over from the workers. I felt like they were continuously working there.
I put an EMF meter over there, basically just detects electromagnetic field. I was careful when I put that in there. I was real careful. Is that okay? So what do you think of these trains? Do you like them?
And I'll move back for you if you don't want to be too close.
Pretty cool.
When you feel it, you can tell something's going on. When you're talking with the dead or trying to communicate with them.
Holy shit.
Have the Santa Fe, Northwestern, Great Northern Railway. Any of these mean anything to you?
Now that is something.
Actually, it's a cat toy. It's a cat ball. So it goes off by motion. Out of equipment, it's pretty reliable. Yeah.
What do you think of the work Ray's doing over here? Yes, one of the things that we could not explain.
And you do hear the door slam, open up, or you don't hear it really open up, but you hear them slamming. Oh, I just get up and check it out. And then when I check it out, then I'm wondering what's going on in here. I think they like me. Who knows who it was? Because I'm a mile railroader. I like trains. Me and my brother. We found two ladies on the Little Rock sunbathing. Me, no clothes on.
I bet you naughty.
They're the naughty. I always tell the husbands if they didn't do that, they're lying. It's eerie.
Feels like somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
Cold smoke Valve and steam. My heart is sad, I'm a living in a dream.
I've been working on the railroad.
I don't think I remember the lyrics very well.
I remember it very well.
Did I do breaking machine?
You feel the energy when you're here. My name is Tonya, and I've been a volunteer here for 4 years, and I'm also on the board of directors.
Come all you rounders if you want to hear a story about a brave engineer.
I've never experienced, as far as sounds or, anything like that. Whoever used to work here was very proud of their work and is still passionate about that today, I think, in the afterlife.
They are oiled while on the move, on their way up the hump.
What do I feel now? I feel the presence, for sure.
And coal, to be blown automatically into the firebox.
I think hardworking, prideful, just very dedicated to their work kind of people.
I just hope that history explodes tonight.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
I'm so excited to see what you guys find. We've been here for a very long time, and it just gets better and better each year.
We're unloading a 45-ton diesel locomotive center cab that Sea of Industries donated to us today. So, when was it built? 1940s?
I don't know. I'm excited for tonight, especially this building.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think the presence is the strongest here?
I would say probably the roundhouse and maybe the machine shop as well.
There's a really different energy there. I feel him all the time. He's like he's guiding me that this is what needs to be done.
Well, if they're wondering what we're doing, they're about to find out.
And there are heavy repairs which are made in a great locomotive shop.
There's power in the rails, that's for sure.
Here's a ponderous fantasy of fire and steel, the mighty forge of a modern Vulcan.
In the late 1800s and early 1900s.
At this railroad, the boilers are 60 feet high. The heat meters register 2,000 degrees, generating steam with a pressure of 300 pounds to the square inch.
Workers became tradesmen, craftsmen. They did define themselves by their work, just like we do today. We define ourselves by our work.
A symbol of that factor so vital in all mechanics, a mechanized army is as good as its maintenance, and so is a railroad.
I feel like I was being watched. Those back windows on that farm wall, it's like if somebody was up there watching you, like peering through the window, just kind of overseeing everything. It's not even heavy. It's just like something's there, but you're like, where are you? Yeah.
Felt like somebody was standing there like, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Like a whistle?
Yeah.
I'm hearing it all over the place.
Maddox brought that up too. He's hearing a whistle.
I think that most spirits will probably go here. Yeah, they used to work. I think that's probably where they're most comfortable being. So I think there's gonna be a lot of activity here, especially.
You hear the whistle? Heard the whistle?
What'd you think of all the women out here doing photo shoots? Got anything to say about that? What?
Yeah, like a blowy whistle. Yeah. In the back corner, like a blowy whistle.
The hell is that?
You hear the whistle? Heard the whistle?
The whistle was pretty cool.
Was that you whistling? Is that your sign?
It's like somebody was trying to whistle, trying to form the whistle, and they just couldn't get it out.
Can you do it again if that was you?
Yeah, it was definitely from over by 1355.
Back
You
that way.
can hear the roof.
Yeah.
And then, to me, it sounds like people are working.
Yeah.
Like they're not paying attention to us, but they're doing their job.
And they had a whistle out here for break time.
I think with the engines that are there may be some spirits that are attached to them.
It was kind of eerie.
My name's Dave. This is Derek. This is Kathy. Rose.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Are there any workers here that would like to talk to us?
I'm sure they've had some little accidents there as well, banged up fingers or somebody cutting themselves, but I think they just continue to work. You can feel the energy.
So what I'm watching is there's 3, right now you can see 3 dots on there. The closer something gets to that, the more those dots will light up.
What do you think about this museum, how they're trying to restore this and keep the history alive for you?
It could be just be background.
Or it could be, they're trying to manifest enough
something.
strength to give us something, yeah. Do you like having all the volunteers here?
No way.
Okay.
You could get words that go right along with what you're doing, what you're investigating, and the questions that you're asking. And then other times it's just a mixed bag of words that just get thrown out, just depending on EMF levels. Something's going on over there.
Down by the station early in the morning.
2 or 3 volunteers were, it was early evening, they were working on the steam locomotive. And they had started to hear voices and hammers.
Somebody can be walking around.
So they walked around the locomotive and there was no one there. But they saw footprints in the dust on the floor.
Down by the station early in the morning.
Listen to the hiss.
They had said that whoever was talking
See the diamond stoker warming up the smoker.
was talking about the side rods and the cylinders. So they knew they were somebody that knew railroad equipment, but there was no one there.
And I feel like there's definitely a presence, a vibe. A lot of times when you're not expecting it.
I just dabble a little bit on my own with different things, and I'm susceptible to things. We'll just say that.
Feeling of just historical significance, where you went from something that was a 24/7 operation daily with so much work, so much activity, to going down to nothing in a matter of just years.
Yep, right here.
I actually had one earlier today. It's the only experience I've ever had. I was alone, and I could be wrong, but I thought I heard voices. I was up on the rail right over there on that caboose, and so I thought I heard something. Not murmuring, but it was more like far away style voices, something like that. Yeah. Like a conversation. It was 2 very distinct people. Right this way, please.
Oh no, we couldn't do any of that mischievous stuff, not with my dad. We couldn't even walk on rails, so that was not. We were taught to respect the railroad and the locomotives and everybody.
Oh, Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
We got to ride in the locomotives when he was switching. The engineer would let us ride, or we'd ride in the caboose. I have sometimes felt like my dad has left some stuff out here. He was always good at forgetting a tool someplace. And I would find screwdrivers out here, hammers. So, yeah. There's somebody up on that roof.
I know I want to go up
I want to go up there so bad.
Bigfoot, are you messing with us?
Even when we were way back here and you look down here and you can actually visualize the top of the roof, all you see are the stacks that are up there.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. There's no way that a person would be up there without you knowing that somebody was up there.
Yeah. Or sometimes I just hear a voice in my head. Every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could definitely feel something, and that was the kind of the thought that kept running through my head, like, is it okay? And I kept telling myself, yeah, this is okay. And I don't know what that means, but that was the question that kept popping in my head, so.
Worker already really dirty. Why not?
On occasions, sometimes you can hear things coming out.
Holy shit.
Good?
Nope, there's nothing in there.
I heard a hoo kind of a thing in there, but
Yeah, it's tiny. Hi.
This weighs 144 ton. The Great Northern Railway locomotive number 1355. That was a landmark here in Sioux City. This what really launched our museum effort, this locomotive did. It's why we were originally formed, was to preserve the locomotive, and then from this being our first major artifact, we decided to develop the Railroad Museum. We laid out the original plans on a napkin at Southern Hills Mall, and we were in the food court.
I'm hoping that it turns out really well tonight.
I'm hoping they will see if there's some energy sources that are around the locomotive. Either former engineers and firemen that operated the locomotive during its time, or maybe some energy from our volunteers.
I think that spirits are always going to be around, whether it's ancestors or whether it's not. That's just what we call duality.
that's a photo of one shift, I believe it was the morning shift, or they call them tricks, of just the roundhouse, the shopman crew. When I look at, every time I look at the picture, there's always, my eye always draws to the one guy. See, there's a guy, the middle guy that's sitting down on the ledge of the turntable pit. Look straight up to the right of him. That guy has to be 6'8", 6'9", just huge. And you look at the faces, you know, they don't smile, you know, but yeah. And people are relying on trains moving and bringing things to them. So it's one of those things you have to get it done no matter what the cost.
I think that's what's going on here, is the railroad workers are wanting that story told. So that's just my opinion.
And when we were over there, Dave was asking questions, and I got an EVP with the word help. Dave was asking to try, how do you get into this locomotive? The locomotive stands about this high off the ground, and just after Dave asked that...
Did you work here when this area opened up?
The EVP comes across and says help. Was it help me, or was it help Dave get in there?
She's scared. She's scared. She's the scaredy one.
So I'm not really scared. In the roundhouse? The roadhouse? Well, no. The roundhouse, that's where a lot of the energy is. Can you tell me what needs to be fixed? Can you come put some coal in? We're losing some steam. I'm feeling lightheaded. So too much steam? I feel lightheaded. I don't know if it's like someone trying to draw energy for me. There is like a, I'm like trying to figure out if it's actual the wind. Because at times it does sound like footsteps. Like that right there. It does sound like something on wood.
Sounds like somebody's walking on the roof.
Sure, it's just a building.
Did anyone drop money over there?
The front door. It's a $20 bill. Right on.
And I thought it was kind of neat that when I did go into that dark room over there, I did feel something before I found that money on the floor.
Found a $20 bill laying on the ground.
That could be Bud.
I heard something dropping earlier, like somebody was dropping something.
There was no $20 bill on the floor, and no one was walking in that area.
And I walked around there a few times to know that I know myself I didn't drop anything because I was holding 2 phones.
Bud was a volunteer out here. We swear he's here. Bud Smith was one of our really good volunteers that liked to greet visitors when they came in, and he'd be in this area over here, always to welcome the visitors. Once a month, he would bring in a $20 bill that he would make a donation with.
If you want to try to talk to Bud, Let's see if he left a $20 bill for us, and we'll see what word comes up.
Hi, Bud. Are you with us? Did you drop a $20 bill for us?
Did you see the tripwire?
I just noticed that.
Bud was just grandfatherly, I guess is how you would call it. Very, very dedicated. Bud, did the grounds look good?
Just going around different areas by myself kind of correlates with some of the things that other people said or were going through. So I think there's definitely a presence here.
He lived for this place. I can tell you that when him and his wife were fighting, he'd come out here. Our volunteers, they say if anybody, they feel him out here.
The dining car is a place of leisurely luxury.
Behind us, we have two passenger cars that are from 1947 from the Hiawatha, part of the Milwaukee Road. And the first one we're going to go look into would be the dining car. And then the other one behind it is, that's unrestored, it would be a dormitory and baggage car. It's where we gather to have a meal, especially on long trips.
The theory is if there are spirits around, they use any type of batteries or power sources to help energize themselves. A lot of times when you have battery failures, it's a good indication there might be something around.
Especially when you don't normally have that happen.
Yeah.
Everything's energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, this table is energy. She's energy. I'm energy. She's energy.
Mm-hmm.
When we did another museum, I sat between two cases full of haunted objects. And when I tell you, I lost all control of my body. I couldn't move. I felt like somebody literally came and sat and I could not move. And then it just lifted.
What was that? Can you tell me about the ceiling? The Oculus had mentioned ceiling.
The one thing about this car that we need to fix is the ceiling.
Yeah. I heard a buzzing in my ear. Oh.
It leaks right here.
Like it's chaotic to me out there.
Do you feel like somebody touched you?
I kind of felt like I was hearing some things when we were in the dining car.
Any experiences in there?
Just walking around, you can kind of hear things, feel things. Sometimes you think you hear voices, especially in the kitchen area. Sometimes when you're in there and sometimes when you're in the dining area, you feel like you hear somebody calling out an order.
One thing that happened to me that's never happened before is when I was over in the dining car, I felt somebody touch me on the back.
I want to be there with your heart again.
Which I've never been touched before. And I was away from everybody else, and I even turned around and looked, and there was nobody behind me, but something touched me on the back.
Full of sunshine and love all day long.
It's strange, yeah. It's like, what was that, because I know there was nothing around, there was no bugs, nothing like that. So yeah, it's weird, but it doesn't really haunt me too bad.
This is calmer in here than it is out there. Like it's chaotic to me out there.
Chris, it says it's Robert, period. Hi, Robert.
It's pretty cool.
It says it's Robert.
Is there a Robert?
Is there a Robert?
Robert?
Robert Rice, right?
He's still alive. Worked out here for a number of years.
Maybe they're asking for him.
The name Robert coming across and hearing that story. So I do believe there's something here.
How'd this go? I'll touch your butt.
Dormitory and baggage car, so this would have been for the train crew and the kitchen crew to sleep and when they're not on shift. The occasionally they would throw mail on.
Inside the mail car, railway mail clerks put together papers and letters for each town or city.
Yeah, they would throw mail on passenger trains.
She footsteps. I heard somebody talking to Mel's voice.
Is there somebody outside talking?
Sounded like people were working. Because I had the headphones on and I can hear real time. It just sounded like a bunch of commotion.
Yeah, I didn't sense anything back there.
This is kind of like a calmer, relaxing, leisure vibe. Kind of feels like busy work.
But I didn't sense anything again.
A vibe that you get when you go in there, because it's not restored, so it feels like another story that needs to be told.
This used to be where people that work on the train would sleep. We just walk through there, and that's a creepy. It's real dark and no lights, no nothing. It's creepy in there. Right in here is where the conductor was. This is where he'd sit in here and do his work. See how much room there is. Sit at the table right here and do his work.
And it was very active.
What? Jeez Louise.
What?
Back this way? What? Holy buckets.
There's a presence in there too, I just can't figure it out.
Definitely a vibe, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's watching us.
Mm-hmm. Everything's a vibe when you can't see what's in front of you.
I'm hearing a lot of us right now.
That's why most people don't like the dark. It's because they don't know what's in the dark. It's not so much the dark itself, it's they can't see what's in the dark. Waiting for them watching.
It's about like that.
And a lot of times what we do is when we have that going and like, my stomach always gurgles. I always say, okay, that was my stomach, you know, so
Yeah.
that way it's marked on the recorder so we don't think it's a demon or something.
It's very important because
Yeah.
it happens a lot.
It does.
It does. It does. And it can sound like somebody's talking.
Right.
Right. The stomach.
The
that
stomach
sounds
demons.
like demons.
We're at Villa Boys.
We go out there, it's wintertime, it's cold. It's hell out there. We take Tracy along.
This is a place our volunteers really like to come. We've been coming here since 1995.
I believe in it, but I've never had an experience myself, so I'm not going to say that I know it's real, but, you know, I like the idea of it.
We'll make you a believer tonight. I hope so. I hope so. Tracy, good stuff. I'm hungry.
I'm excited about everything right now.
I just feel things if I was over here. Not too much of anything till I got off of that first car over here. I heard something, but the whole time I was up there, it was real quiet. When I get over here on that sidewalk, it's when it gets dark. It gave me an uneasy feeling.
With all the noises and the birds and everything, it almost seemed like a Halloween movie. That's what it felt like.
The ash pit was around 200 feet long. It was a concrete bunker-style structure. The hostlers would bring in the steam locomotives, which dropped the hot coals that were in the firebox down into the ash pit. Charles Crawford, he was a World War I veteran. He was 23 years old. He was assigned the job of dropping the fires out of the steam locomotives. So they would flood water in to create a coal slurry. Charles Crawford, he stepped down on what he thought was ground. He ended up sinking into the coal slurry, which was like quicksand, and ended up drowning. In order to retrieve his body, they had to use grappling hooks in order to find his body within this coal slurry. And of course, when they pulled him out, he was gone. So we have had folks be out here to take photographs, and there's a spirit orb that has shown up in quite a few photographs. So that spirit orb led us to research into if there was an accident or a death, and that's then how we learned about Charles Crawford passing. Where you're all standing is the ash pit.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. I think that happened at the ash pit. I think Dave...
You're really quiet.
I think the spirit of Charles reached out to him and was able to communicate with him.
We might have heard somebody over here making some noise.
To the point where Dave may have been feeling something of what Charles was feeling at the time.
I just had a really, really bad headache. I was shaking. I was dizzy. Just wasn't feeling right. And I sat down and tried to let it pass, but it didn't.
Yes, to my left.
This is where he was found.
He's right here.
He was found by the water pipe right there.
Okay. Like right. And that's kind of where Dave was standing. You got height intriguing?
I don't ever have stuff happen to me.
No.
Ever.
I think it just did. It feels uneven to me.
Yeah.
Like you're in a fun house.
What time is it?
8:56.
Because he passed about 9 o'clock is when he stepped down off the locomotive.
I was gonna say, I feel like a bunch of people are just running this way.
My head started hurting.
I think that Charles was just trying to reach out to him. He realized someone was there and he was trying to get his word out.
I think that's kind of what Charles probably went through as he was, sucked further down and being suffocated. It's 8:58 right now. Yeah. 8:58 right now.
It's just kind of scary watching that stuff happen, but it's happened a lot, so.
One of the reasons why they had to use grappling hooks was because it was dark.
Would be a bad thing to have a seizure tonight.
Yeah. No seizures tonight.
He's had other seizures and stuff as of recent, so.
Just a little bit. Down.
It had to affect me to the point where it triggered a seizure, so.
We're not having excitement tonight. Just this investigation.
Look, listen.
So he needs to cut it off.
I don't normally have stuff like that happen to me.
I haven't ran a code for a while.
That never happens. That doesn't happen to me. It happens to other people.
Whatever's in the back over there, I can't see. It's too dark.
I think that David getting affected the way that he did
In the back.
and me being here is testimony to how the railroad workers and the natives,
the Osage, the Pawnee, the Dakota,
here that are in this area coexist.
one of the Plains tribes, the Sioux.
I just find it kind of an odd coincidence.
Before the railroad took over the property in 1915, 1916, this was more of a riparian wood timber area that was part of the river system, the valley. Native Americans used this land for hunting and fishing. On the hill above us is a burial ground for the Native Americans that's been cataloged and researched by the Office of the State Archaeologist in Iowa City. They believe that there was temporary camps set up here by the Native American cultures to really fish and hunt in this area.
After the ash pit, I called Larry the next day and told him I think that Charles is kind of feeling forgotten. Might need to do some type of plaque or something for him in that area to let him know that he's not forgotten, that he's still a part of this place, and I might put some things at ease for him. Hopefully what we did for Veterans Day kind of helps that, so. For Veterans Day, for the first time, had a veterans ceremony. They honored the veterans that volunteered here and had worked here. And they did do a speech about Charles Crawford, a worker that was here and that was also a veteran as well. He had been injured in the war pretty severely. And then when he came back here, he always wanted to work at the railroad. And it just turns out that on his first day that he was here, he ended up dying.
Here, you can have that feeling of the presence of somebody, but I don't think they haven't come out yet.
It doesn't matter. If they want to be known, they'll be known.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yep, and so sometimes, even when we've been in here before, where we've been down here with Ray, visiting with Ray, and we hear the same kind of thing where we hear doors.
No way.
There's a path behind here where the workers would walk to and from work every day.
But we might have heard somebody over here making some noise. Anybody over here on this side that would like to let us know they're here?
You could feel like there's something happened here.
So did you used to work for the railroad? Some really cool trains in here, some really cool models. Do you ever play with them?
You guys were back there and you were coming this way. I thought I heard a little person's voice. Did you guys? So normally what we'll do is we'll tell them, like, if they cross it, that means yes. If it's apart, it's no. Is there anybody here with us?
If there's anybody here with us, go ahead and cross those two.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. I think when we investigate in there and we're communicating with people, that we're communicating with former employees, people who work there, and they're just letting us know that, hey, we're still here and we're still working.
A little bit further. Keep going. Thank you.
Do you find any controversy between anybody? You think everybody's getting along?
Yeah, no, I definitely don't get that vibe at all. I feel like everybody is pretty peaceful. I know there's a lot of death, a lot of tragic death, and that creates that, perfect storm, if you will. It's just a really active, peaceful place, really.
Kind of experience, afar what you guys do.
And then I saw that.
I think there's definitely a presence here, and I'm glad that I got to be here.
Some people, yeah.
What do they say?
They're surprised about it at first, but they're not really weirded out or anything by it.
Where's Maddox at? We should ask him.
Actually, Derek and Maddox went to school together.
I just love history. I've always loved it ever since I was young. My mom used to work here for a work-study program, and she really introduced me to history. And this is a great opportunity for me to start my career in history overall.
Thomas, is that his name? Thomas.
Thomas. I don't think I would have been as much into trains if it wasn't for shows like Thomas Train. I think shows and movies have a lot of impacts on what people think as they grow up as well.
Yes, I have helped my dad out here a lot. He passed a couple of years after we got the property, and it wasn't in any real good condition. And he spent most of his time working down on that south end, so that's where I feel him.
So I do believe there's something here.
In here, it's a different atmosphere. It's hard to tell what is what, but it's I love it.
The history's following us around the whole night, and that was great.
It exceeded my expectations for sure, and I do think energies were really active tonight. What you experience is the industriousness of the site from its past.
You've definitely done a great job.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Somebody's walking.
We heard something earlier in the canyon.
It's not windy. There's footsteps. There it goes again. And again.
It's been awesome just to see the transformation and all the things that you learn along the way.
happen when you least expect it to. A solid golden train is gonna come down after you. It's gonna happen suddenly, and then before you know, you hear that old conductor shouting, all aboard, let's go. Will you be ready? Will you be ready when you hear that ooh-you-you? Will you be ready? Will you be ready when that solid golden train comes after you? Will you be ready? Find yourself a Pullman car, then stretch out in a berth. You're lying there and thinking of the life you led on earth. You're wondering if you're heading up above or down below, and if your friends are glad or if they're sad to see you go. So will you be ready? Will you be ready when you hear that ooh-you-you? Will you be ready? Will you be ready when that solid golden train comes after you?
Prepare yourself. That goes for me too. Yes, Lord.
The train comes to a stop, then disappears beneath your feet. And all at once you're standing right in front of old St. Pete. He reads your record to you by the time that he is through. It's pretty clear to see the old boy's got a lot on you now. Will you be ready? Will you be ready when you hear that ooh-you-you? Will you be ready? Will you be ready when that solid golden train comes after you?
That's right.
There's nothing you have ever done that he has overlooked. Unless somehow you get a break, you know your goose is cooked. You make a solemn promise it won't happen anymore. Pete shakes his head and says, my son, I've heard that one before. Now you better be ready. Ooh, you better be ready when that solid golden train comes after you.
We're definitely a eerie feeling just standing right here with no lights on at all.
Yeah.
It definitely,
Yeah.
you could feel like there's something happened here.
Mm-hmm.